Hello everybody, welcome to That's Football and welcome to Arsenal against Nottingham Forest live watch along here on That's Football with me, Mark Goldbridge. Welcome back to the Premier League. We're ready to go. I hope you're all ready to go as well. Ange Ball is back, says the chat. Ange is going to batter Arteta, according to Mike K. I'm not too sure about that one. I actually think Forest are going to get chopped down by Arsenal's Gunners today. But, enough of the nickname plays. I think it will be hopefully a good game. I'm certainly... It should be a better game than what we saw against I think Nuno, as we may have spoken about previously this week, was a little bit unlucky to lose his job. I think it's a bit haphazard and risky to bring in Ange to Forest. But what we should hopefully see is a bit of a game of football that's a little bit more open, because Ange with Spurs certainly played more open football. We have got the 3 o'clock games today as well. I'm doing a Newcastle focus, but all the other goals as well. Our first 3 p.m. live stream of the season. I love doing those, so join me for that. Loads of goals. We'll be covering the Bundesliga, the Championship, the Premier League, everything that's going on at 3 o'clock. So looking forward to that. Do you think Ange will play on the front foot? No. I mean, people forget he won the Europa League parking the bus. I mean, I know that's not really his style, but he did it to get a result, and I think he will try and park the bus a little bit today, if I'm being completely honest. But yeah, there we go. Thanks to everyone who's tuning in. Big up to everyone who watched us on Friday night, Bundesliga night. Remember, Bundesliga live action here every Friday night. It was a brilliant game last night. Bit of a shock, Leverkusen winning. But Grimaldo, talking about him on the United stand this morning. Is he a player that the Premier League missed out on over the years? 29 now, and probably not going to play in the Premier League. But you look at his free kick ability, and also he was man of the match last night, and I just think he would have been a very good player to bring into the Premier League. Maybe he will come in at some point, but at 29, probably missed the boat. But he was brilliant last night. But it's all about the Premier League. Let's have a look at the team news, because I'm a little bit perplexed about this. Declan Rice on the bench for Arsenal is the first major story. He is on the bench, so I just wonder if it's a little bit of rotation, a little bit precautionary. Is that what it's all about? I don't know whether any Arsenal fans are in the chat that can give us a little bit more on that. Maybe he's carrying a knock, I don't know. I think Arsenal might suffer in transition with that midfield. It's too slow, too weak. Forest are proper good on the break. We'll look at the Forest team in a minute, but it's a midfield of Moreno, Zubimendi and Odegaard, which is quite attacking when you consider Eze off the left, Madueke off the right and Gyökeres. It's a new look Arsenal attack. I mean, it's a 3 summer signing attack. And that must be quite exciting if you're an Arsenal fan. Normally you'd be seeing Havertz, Saka and Martinelli if everybody's fit. You've now got a brand new front 3, and I think it's a good one. Lucky says, I believe Declan Rice has just been rested for this game. And that rotation is going to be very important, I think. The Herd 88, thank you very much for your super chat, by the way. The first one there saying that Arsenal might suffer with transition. Well, look, you know what? As we take a look at the Forest side, as much as I think it might be a mistake bringing Ange in, I certainly don't think they're a team that should be looking at this season and saying, you know, relegation or anything stupid like that. They have got some very good players. I mean, another player I thought would be quite a good signing for them isn't even on the bench today, Igor Jesus, who came in from Botafogo. I'm still convinced he'll be a good player, but they've stuck with Wood up front. Sells in goal, Williams, Milenkovic, Murillo, Morato, Sangari, Anderson and Gibbs-White, Ndoye, Hudson-Odoi and Wood. That sort of lineup will give teams a bit of problem in the Prem this season. No two ways about it. So, and I think the benches will be key. Just looking through it, Amari Hutchinson on the bench for Ipswich, for Forest, McAtee, Douglas Luiz. So they've got some good players on their bench, Forest. I mean, Hutchinson, McAtee and Luiz would probably start for half of the Premier League, let's be honest. So there is good bench capability there. Arsenal's bench, though, Kepa, Dauman, Hincapié, Lewis Skelly, Martinelli, Wanyeri, Rice, Trossard, White. I mean, that's a bench. That's a bench, and that's why I think this season so many people are looking at Arsenal and saying, look, they've got to stay the course at least. You've got to win these types of games. Obviously, last time out, we watched Arsenal play against Liverpool, and it was an absolute worldie by Szoboszlai. There's no two ways about it. And I think Arsenal were very close to getting what would have been a good point, and they'd be joint top of the league with Liverpool. They're not joint top of the league because Liverpool are with a perfect record. But today is where if Arsenal come unstuck, I think that genuine is criticism. These are the sort of games that they have to win. Do you think we'll see a new manager bounce for Ange? I don't know. I mean, I think it's interesting in some ways to sort of look at how this plays out, because Jack Grealish has won Player of the Month in the Premier League. Wow, that's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Just shows you what Pep did to him, isn't it? But it should be a straightforward win for Arsenal at home, says Big Andy. I think it has to be. Doesn't it? They have to, go out there and win these types of games. If you look at last season, Brighton was an early draw at home, wasn't it? I mean, it was a silly red card for Declan Rice, but it was an early one. You also had points dropped against, I think, Everton at home as well. So I think that there are aspirations, of course, to win the league this year for Arsenal, quite rightly. And if they're going to do that, then they're going to have to win games like this quite comfortably. Yeah. Just having a quick look around what people are saying. Do you want Arsenal to win the league? Well, I predicted Arsenal would win the league. I predicted Gyökeres would be Golden Boot winner. I mean, I'd love Gyökeres to score a couple of goals today and just be top goal scorer and still be being called someone who doesn't look that good on the eye and looks like he's wearing jeans. I mean, I find it incredible. I almost think we're living in a world now where you can make somebody a flop when they're factually not. I mean, I saw that clip of that person saying that he looks like he's running around in a pair of jeans, and I'm like, and? Has he got 2 goals in 3 games? Yes. If he scores a couple today, he's the top goal scorer in the league. So, as I say, I think we're living in a society now where it's almost like you can make somebody a flop even if they're decent. So, what chance of a Forest win? Well, I'll tell you what, we're about to find out because we're about to kick off here. But I will just set up a quick poll. I mean, look, what I will say is referee is Darren England, probably from England. I really have loved watching the Bundesliga for many reasons. I think the crowds are way better than the Premier League because the clubs are fan-owned. I think the goals scored are a lot more, exciting because the way they play over there is a little bit more, risk-taking. I mean, that shot from Collins that hit the bar last night from the centre-back would have been goal of the season. But more importantly, the referees let the game flow. And I found this season already. We started the game, by the way. I found this this season already. I watched Bundesliga on a Friday night. The game flows really, really quickly. I watched the Premier League the next day, and I'm like pulling my hair out at how stop-start the Premier League is. I really wish our referees would just watch Bundesliga football and see how the referees let things go. Like, not every foul needs to be given. Like, if it's a little shove and you let it go, let the next one go and the game will flow. But they don't. They pull everything up and it just slows the game down. Billy Davies says, Gyökeres scored against a team that is championship level, Mark. Yeah, Billy, I don't really care about your Gyökeres agenda, because if I scrutinised Erling Haaland's goal-scoring record, or, most Premier League strikers' goal-scoring record, most of their goals are scored against the lesser teams. It's not unusual. There's not many strikers out there in world football who score hat-tricks against the top 4. You've just described most prolific goal scorers score lots of goals the majority of their goals against the bottom half of the league. Absolutely, I agree. God, I tell you what, the quality. Is anyone else watching this on TNT? Am I on? Is there like a TNT HD or something? Because this is crap. Has anyone else got a really shit picture? Maybe it's just because our Bundesliga feed was so good. TNT Sports HD. My arse. That's not HD. That ain't bloody HD. That's 480p. It's terrible. There's no way that's HD. I can hardly tell who the players are, and I've got a massive screen. Somebody said the sound's a bit low. Yeah, okay. There's nothing wrong with the sound. It's absolutely perfect. Thank you very much for being a troll. Do you think Gyökeres will be better than Sesko? And would you say this has the best lineup formation? Arsenal, 64% of you have gone with a win. Forest, 20% win. And draw, 16%. Thiago, you're gone. I love it. I was doing it this morning on United Stand. I love it. Anyone reckon Goldbridge has got Bundesliga TV rights? Yes, I have. Question to Chelsea fans and Mark. Are you surprised that Chelsea didn't drop 100 million for Morgan Rogers in the summer? I think Morgan Rogers... Surely that's a foul, ref. He's let it go. And Arsenal are moving down the left-hand side here. Eze goes back. What's wrong with that there? Rajaf, I think Morgan Rogers obviously looked very good for England. I mean, that's not a foul by Calafiori. I think the referee's actually right to play on there. That's exactly the sort of stupid foul that we shouldn't see in the Premier League. I mean, look, he's hurt his sock. That doesn't mean it's a foul. Moronic cameraman that. Oh, look, he's ripped his sock. It must have been a foul. No, it's just a clash of bloody friends. Players. Baltiar says, Ange trying to play a high line with these centre-backs. Well, I have been observing that in a couple of the minutes. It's hard to tell. It's too early. Cuts inside. Madueke, good cross, good defending. Murillo, I mean, you know what? It's a bit offensive to say this. Anderson, Murillo, Gibbs-White, Milenkovic maybe. These players will be leaving Forest next summer. But, you know, the more they get, maybe they won't. Maybe that won't happen. Maybe that's not going to happen. Remember, they've got Europa League football this season as well. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. Appreciate the super chats from the herd and Rajaf. You can do that through the $sign. We'll read those out for you. Wood just pushing Gabriel to the floor. And that's a free kick to Arsenal. You don't want to be giving up too many of these. And there. You don't want to be giving up too many of these. So, chance for... It's more of a good opportunity, this. He's got a funny build, that Murillo, hasn't he? The way he wears his shorts. He must have special shorts. Odegaard's over this. We know Arsenal are good from set pieces. They get their positioning, and it's 1-0. Oh, it's a great save by Sells. It should have been 1-0 from Moreno. Brilliant save. Give him a clap, Sells there. That was a brilliant save. Should have been 1-0. We won't see the replay yet because the ball's still active. But basically, typical Arsenal corner, sort of cross. That's going to go for a corner. Typical Arsenal cross into the box. Odegaard's down injured here. And it fell to Moreno 6 yards out. And Sells, if you're a goalkeeper, this is exactly what you do. He should score, but he just made himself big. He should have gone low there. I mean, he's got enough time, Moreno, there. I don't know why he just doesn't place it in the bottom corner. But to be fair, Sells makes himself so big. That was a bad tackle on Odegaard by Gibbs-White. That's probably why he's down injured. It was a bad tackle. No malice in it for me, but yeah. Did you watch the Michael Owen interview with Rio Ferdinand? I find Michael Owen ridiculously boring and blinkered and arrogant. And I think that came across when he was a younger player as well. I mean, you can remember that one where he was just shooting properly against like a 9-year-old goalkeeper. So no, it's not. It wouldn't be an interview I'd be massively interested in watching. Big Digger, thank you very much for becoming a member. And do you think Nuno will want Forest to lose now, says Patrick? I think when you get this, I mean, I've never been in that position where I've been sacked. Certainly not as a manager, but I would imagine once you've been sacked, you probably lose the loyalty to that club, you know? People saying, watch what you say. That's exactly why I slowed down and pronounced the D. And I think that particular member might be doing it on purpose, but we'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Just by the way they've constructed their words, that's why I slowed right down to say it. But when you look at what they're saying, I think they might be a racist. But, you know, I don't want to cast those sort of aspersions, but that was my initial thought. But we give them the benefit of the doubt. Corner was good there from Arsenal. Gabriel did get on the end of it, but steady there. Yeah, I've been doing it for 10 years. Unfortunately, as we know, there are vile people out there who think they're funny trying to catch you out. Jamie says, I'd like to see Forest get relegated out of spite towards Marianakos. Well, I'm walking out of that. Timed it wrong. Basically just went down the shop with Seb to get some lunch, and he bought a packet of sports mixture. I don't know whether anybody knows what they are. Midget Gems sports mixture. Very nice. Used to have them as a kid. He never buys them. And I always say, oh, why don't you get them? Why don't you get them? He never buys them. Today, unprompted, he bought them. And I knew he'd opened them about 5 minutes ago. So I was like, oh, I'll go and get one, because I used to love them. And he's finished them. So, yeah. Chilton says, vile people, matey's like 40, saying he's hurt by people using joke names on the internet. No. I'm long enough in the tooth to know that people try to put racist terms in the comments so they can clip it up and call me a racist. So I don't get hurt by trolls. I've certainly had a lot more than that. I just find it, you know, vile that there are people out there that think racism's funny, basically. Do you think Xavi Simons is going to do good? I've got Spurs to win today. Now, if you've been checking out Goldbridge Hot Takes on Instagram or my TikTok account, you'll see that AI predicted the scores for the weekend. Now, I can't remember what it predicted for Arsenal, But me and Robbie did this in win, lose or draw. We've both obviously gone with an Arsenal win, but he's gone with West Ham and Spurs drawing. I've gone with the Spurs win. Remember, we're doing the 3 o'clock games today as well, so make sure you subscribe, get involved. What are your favourite sweets, Mark, says Chloe? I don't eat them much anymore because, as somebody said in there, being a man in my 40s, can't wait till you lot get in your 40s, by the way. Like, it'd be a real eye-opener to, I mean, I hope you make it. I mean, that's always a bonus because life is a gift. This assumption that you'll make it there is very arrogant. Madueke, little dink to the back post, too much on it. But yeah, when you get to your 40s, the amazing thing is you still do like watching football. You still do like a glass of wine. You still do like music. You still do like film. You still do like computer games. Your life's not over at 40. But you do have to be careful about what you eat. And I try not to eat as much sweet food now because, as we know, it can increase your risk of issues. So, yeah, I used to eat loads when I was little, though. Too many. That's why my teeth were all ruined. I mean, I used to go to bed with a can of Fanta. Not in a sex way. I mean, like, you know, I'd have a can of Fanta next to my bed. Wake up in the night and have a swig of that. I mean, you're basically just dissolving your teeth, aren't you? Riyadh said, "Would you have took Gyökeres at Man United?" 100%. I think he's a brilliant player. It makes me laugh. Makes me laugh how there's this just obsession with the media and some fans for him to flop. It's just obsessed with it. It's weird. You predicted Arsenal to win the league. I did, and I still think they can. Liverpool will be favourites, of course, but what we don't know about this Premier League season as well yet is just how competitive it's going to be. Good play by Gyökeres there. Very good play. Very good play into Eze. He shoots. Goes through to the keeper. So that was good build-up play by Gyökeres there. Krispy Kremes are lovely. Krispy Kremes are lovely. Look, I love all that. I'm actually not doing the Spurs West Ham game because I'm cooking tonight. And I'm going to do a nice steak, mushrooms, chips, fried onions, baked beans, poached egg. It's all going to be on offer. And I'm thinking about making a pudding, which I will have because it's the weekend. But it's all about moderation, I think. Balance. And not just food. Where are we without balance? We're falling over, quite literally. But I think everything's in moderation. I understand some people don't eat sweet food for health reasons, or they don't drink because it has a bad effect on them, or they're addicts or things like that. But I think for the vast majority of people, balance is key. You know, have a drink and a takeaway at the weekend. Just don't do it 3 times a week. Good play there by Zubimendi. Oh, this is lovely play by Arsenal. It's a crap ball by Odegaard, though. I mean, no one's getting on the end of that. Cooking with Goldbridge will be back. Oh God, I've just been asked for some dates. Not the ones you get from the shop or on a date. I've got plenty of asking for that, but as you know, happily married. But how do I know what the day is in November? Okay. Lovely play by Eze down the left-hand side here. Plays it into Odegaard. Ooh, he's a bit off the pace, Odegaard, isn't he? People were saying that about him last season. I think Odegaard's coming off. Yeah. That's another injury for Odegaard then. Kurgan says, try banana pudding, delicious and easy to make. I'm good at all puddings, really, which is not necessarily a good thing. That was a bad tackle on Odegaard by Gibbs White. Actually, I don't think Gibbs White tackles in him. I think it's actually Timber who hits him, isn't it? It's hard to sell in the melee of legs, but off he comes. So, no Saka, no Havertz, now no Odegaard. It's a good job. Arsenal's summer transfer business suddenly looks very good, doesn't it? Tiramisu, I hate, Daz. I hate tiramisu. Saliba injured as well, yeah. But you've got quality there. You've got Wanyeri. Moreno can play there. Havertz can play there when he's back. They've got a... This is why Arsenal needed a squad. It's very, very important. Darren Smith with a super chat. Thank you very much. Says this isn't even 720p. It's shocking, Mark. I've just tweeted about it. Berry says baked beans. Oh, I love baked beans on a traditional steak dinner on a Saturday night when I was growing up. I'll tell you what it used to be with my gran and granddad and my mum. Across the years, we would always have steak, chips, gravy, baked beans, mushroom, and a poached egg, and bread and butter. That was it. Absolutely loved it. Yeah, I don't like tiramisu because of the coffee. I like coffee cake. Love coffee cake. I love this chat. I love this community. 13,000. Make sure you subscribe, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. The place for all your football needs on That's Football. Lots of exciting things coming up this season. Bundesliga rights on a Friday. I can tell you we're very close to securing exclusive World Cup rights. It won't be on any other station. I'm taking the piss. Imagine that. We've got exclusive World Cup rights. You can't watch it anywhere else. Anywhere. In any country. Just here. Imagine the views. Wanyeri into the box. Oh, he's going to win that back, though. Nearly got it into Timber. To be honest with you, I think I like Odegaard. Is this a hot take or is this a bad take? I like Odegaard, but I think Arsenal become instantly more exciting when you've got Wanyeri or Dauman on the pitch. It's just that youth thing, isn't it? You know, it's exciting to see young players, especially English players, coming through. Rub says, Arteta out if no Premier League win this season. Odegaard is struggling over the last 12 months as well. I mean, obviously, this is not the United Stand, it's That's Football, so you have a lot of conversations about a lot of things, and there's a lot of Arsenal fans who get involved, and I'm acutely aware that Arsenal fans haven't been overly loving Odegaard for a while now. Very much defence against attack. Reacher says, Arteta's games management needs to be studied because the amount of injury he collects every season is crazy, says Reacher. There are certain clubs that do collect a lot of injuries. United as well. You know what I think it is with Arteta? I think he's risk averse. And I'd like to see United be a little bit like that. We pick up a lot of injuries because our fitness and conditioning is shit. Lovely play by Madueke. Puts the right cross in. Gyökeres on the back post. And that goes for a goal kick. Yeah, I think Arteta picks up... correct me if I'm wrong. I think Arteta picks up a lot of injuries. Madueke playing well again. I think Arteta picks up a lot of injuries because he's quite risk averse. You think about Gyökeres, wasn't match fit. Played him from the first game. Saka has been overplayed in the past. Sorry, I've got that completely wrong. He's not risk averse. He's a risk taker. He's the opposite of risk averse. I think he overplays players to get his best team on the pitch. I've forgotten my bloody water. Give me 2 seconds. Don't give me 2, give me 10. Not even there. It's not even bloody there. Because it's there right in front of you. Oh, I'm getting old. Getting old. Joe Eaty says, why is that fat guy Man United fan hate you? I don't know. I mean, there's 100 answers there, but I don't actually know. I'm more concerned about where my water is. Mate, I don't. Look, honestly, I'll give you the same answer on that. In 2017, YouTube beef was a thing. It's 2025. I don't watch, care, or have any interest in any other content creator. Fair play to them. You know, they've got to put food on the table. And I'm not having a go at them being fat. I'm just saying, I don't know who you're talking about. And also, I don't really have a problem with any other content creator. I know how hard the grind is. Fair play. If you're making a living doing this, well done. It's a very congested workplace. If I'm an influence, great. You know, if I'm in your head and you're thinking, maybe, you know, maybe this is what you want. Well done. Corner to Arsenal. Oh, what a good block. Good defending by Forest, to be fair there. It is very defence against attack. But this is what the Liverpools and the Man Cities and the Arsenals have to face week in, week out, isn't it? One of my mates from school is actually at the game, sending me pictures of the Emirates. So I've just messaged him saying, come on, Arsenal. Bit harsh? Not really. Every time United lose, he's there on ripping the piss out of me. Yeah, I did go to school, Prince Junior. Yeah. Any plans for a new podcast? No. Very, very busy. FIFA Career Mode will be back this week. Yeah, looking forward to it. And it will be live. I don't know which channel. I'll probably do it on my own channel, yeah. What were the dinosaurs like, says Noah. Hilarious. Hilarious. Right, Forest have got a chance to ping in across to the back post here. You feel like a set piece could... I'll get this ref cam off. You know what I call it? Pratt cam. Absolutely shit. Why would I want to watch ref cam in 480p when I'm watching a game in 720p? It's Pratt cam. It is, isn't it? It's absolutely Pratt cam. Makes no sense at all. It actually gives me motion sickness as well. Why are you doing 3 PMs? I've always liked doing 3 PMs when I can, when there's a good selection. Obviously, I think next week's a little bit different, but there's a good selection of 3 PM games, and I was really excited to see Voltemada at Stuttgart next week because we've got Stuttgart against St. Pauli, but obviously he left, so he's gone to Newcastle. So I thought, sod it, I'm gonna watch him this week, and he's playing at 3 o'clock. Next week, 3 o'clock. So you're gonna do those? I mean, there's a few. There are a few next week, which is interesting. But Man United Chelsea at 5:30, so I might do it as a prelude. Yeah, Merseyside derby next week, Liverpool Everton. Lovely little flick that. Was that Gyökeres into Moreno? You've got to cut that back, mate. It took way too long there. That is crap. Twat. Absolutely. I'd be fuming with that. Really good position and you end up back on the halfway line because the Pratt can't play a simple pass. That is just infuriating. You're in a really good position and the guy won't play a pass and ends up passing it back to the halfway line. Not a left winger, Mark. I'm not a bloody left winger. I know I've got to play a forward pass. Manchester Derby tomorrow. Yeah, we'll be on the United stand tomorrow for that. I'm doing Burnley, Liverpool before it. Isak, watch. Sure, a lot of people would be interested in that. Lovely play by Arsenal here down the right-hand side. Zubamendi needs to go wide left to Eze. Couldn't get it at his feet. He's going to shoot. And I'll tell you what, Eze, you get a lot of service from Madueke on the right-hand side. Eze just seems to want to shoot today. He's got a debut goal in his head, I think. Did he pass a lot at Palace? Didn't watch Palace enough, really. Here's a question for you. Someone in the chat says that Japan has got 8K already. What's the highest you can go for visual? I mean, I don't 1080p, 4K, 6K. Like, at what point does it basically become reality? Got to be some computer people in there. Nice ball in. Lovely get. Oh, terrible first touch by Gyökeres, but Madueke wins it back into Gyökeres. He'll put the cross in and he'll win a corner. It never does, Sir Stuart. Eyesight is far superior to any TV. Another corner to Arsenal. That's good. It's a good corner. He's given a corner again. Timber thinks he should have scored. Forest don't think it should be a corner. So it also depends on your eyesight. Without glasses, I can't even see 4K. I'm more like 480p. Where would Arsenal be without set pieces? Any content with Loz coming up, says Ewan. Watch this space. We've got some very exciting stuff we're working on. I was talking to him the other day. Yeah, headed away that time. Should still come back to Madueke. That's a good deep cross, but Sells will be there, and it goes for a corner. Corner FC. What are you doing with Loz? Let's just say it involves... No, let's not say anything. It'll be good. It'll be good. Really looking forward to it. Another bit of... Well, we're breaking ground, aren't we? I mean, look, we're the first fan creator. We'd already done it last year. Like, this is what I mean. Hopefully we will see more TV rights on new media, fan content, whatever you want to call it. But because of you, we've broken that ground. Another corner on top of Sells. He palms it away. But we did that Salzburg one, didn't we, last year? Lask against Salzburg. Lovely play by Madueke again. He's having a good game. He's having a very good game. Good defending. Madueke's cooking, isn't he? He's been brilliant. Best player on the pitch by a long way. You know what? I found it a weird signing. I put my hands up. At least I'm honest. I found it a really weird signing for Arsenal. Never really thought he was that good at Chelsea. Came with a good reputation from the Bundesliga again. Another Bundesliga import. But... he's been brilliant for Arsenal. No doubt about it. Martin says, which games are you live today? I'm doing this one, and then I'm doing 3 o'clocks, and then I'm out. I'm doing 8 o'clock on the United stand, so I'll have the Chelsea game on. But, yeah, West Ham Spurs could be an absolute... Could be good, could be shit. And Brentford Chelsea, if Chelsea don't win that, you know. Madueke was PSV. Sorry, why did I think he was RB Leipzig? Oh, what a goal! What a goal! Zubamendi, take that! Oh, Gary Barlow, that was absolutely incredible. Goal of the season. It does come from a set piece for Arsenal, but I tell you what, it's not the traditional header. The cross comes in, it drops out on the volley, probably 30 yards out, bang, boom shakalak, Zubamendi. That was a Christmas cracker early. That was brilliant. Sponsored by Santa. Watch this. Oh, look at that. I mean, to be fair, it's not as brilliant as it... I mean, it's brilliant. It's not in the top corner. It's just the keeper can't see it and it gets a slight deflection. But the technique is still brilliant. You'd still say power. What a hit. What a goal. And Arsenal have the lead. It does come from a corner, and it comes in all shapes and sizes. But it's Zubamendi on the hit in the Declan Rice role today as well. Ref Cam's not going to do anything. What does Ref Cam add? Seriously, like I know we're celebrating a great goal there, but does anybody think Ref Cam adds anything other than a headache? It's shite. It really is shit. What about the keeper mark? I don't know if the keeper gets a clear view at it, then Murillo's coming off here. This is a blow for Forest. Injuries are us at the moment. There's so many injuries. It looks like it's his knee as well. I think if the keeper gets a clear look at it, he probably saves it. But two defenders in front of him, you're not going to react quick enough, I'm afraid. Dev likes Ref Cam. I find it really weird. Really weird. Thanks for your super chat, Martin. So another stoppage here with another injury, but what a goal for Arsenal. They've got that first goal, which hopefully will make Forest be a little bit more expressive, because look at the stats. No shots on target, no corners, 32%. I mean, that's shit. I'm sorry. Nuno got sacked for this. That's a better angle. That's not Ref Cam. That's Pigeon Cam. Yeah, look at the goalkeeper. It's a great technique, but he can't react. He just can't see. It's a lovely technique. The only thing he could have done better, and I'm nitpicking, is put it in the top corner. It is a bit... For me, I'd have put that in the top corner, but, I'm being a little bit harsh because the technique's really good. He's put it straight down the middle. If he'd have put it a bit to the right, it would have been even better, but it's still a cracking goal. Good news for Forest. I think Murillo's going to come back on. Sim says, Ref Cam, such a great innovation. I think he's laughing. Charlotte says, how is Ange's Notts Forest playing? Very much like Nuno's Forest, really. I mean, I don't think Chris Wood fits Ange ball either. He's basically just come in and copied his tactics, really. Because it's... And in fairness, what's Murillo come back on for? He's hobbling. In fairness, you've only got a few days. I think he needs to come off, Murillo. I think he's going to come off as well. Zubamendi again on the volley, just over the bar. Rub says, piss off Arteta, living off scraps. Well, I think there's an element of naivety to come to the Emirates and try and park the bus and counter, because when you park the bus, you're going to invite set pieces, and they're very good at set pieces. Yeah, Murillo's coming off here. Looks like it's a knee injury, which is sad. Charlie says, I'm convinced they only got him because he's Greek. Yeah, he's not been there long enough, has he, really? Hopefully that's not a bad injury because he's a good player, Murillo. Obviously tried to run it off, but he can't. Crap owner got his feelings hurt by Nuno, only to replace Nuno with a terrible manager, says Baltiar. He's Australian. What's this Greek thing, says Bomber. I think Postecoglou is a Greek name, isn't it? I mean, I might be wrong. I know he's Australian, but he's probably got Greek family. He's born in Athens, apparently. Greek heritage. What was that striker who played for Italy, who was Australian but played for Italy? Vieri. I think he could have played for about, I can't remember, but he played for Italy, but I think he spoke with an Australian accent. Murillo still hobbling. Yeah, there'll be a bit of stoppage time here. Still 7 minutes to go to half time. Please do subscribe to the channel, bottom right hand corner. You know what? I got a message actually. That's Football is 9. Congratulations, your channel is 9 this week, which I never realised it was 9 years old. I don't think we used it for. I don't think I started it as this. I think I did, but I don't think it. I don't know. 9 years seems too long. Can't remember what we did at the start. Just looking at the oldest content. Yeah, it was all bloody PS4. Oldest live video was 2016. Mark Goldbridge's live PS4 broadcast. Yeah, it was all FIFA. I was doing FIFA stuff on here. That's what it was used for. In the back end. Yeah, first video was Alexis Sanchez to down tools at Arsenal 2017. Corner to Forest here. Can they get something from a set piece? Very disappointing from them. No shots. No corners. I think this is their first corner. If you had a video about Rashford being the greatest, says King Cantona, oh, we should delete that. Headed away. St. Blanco says Marianakos is going to regret sacking Nuno. I just think owners... It's unfair on fans because there's no fan ownership in the Premier League, is there? So you have no say in your club at all. You're basically in the hands of the emotions of one person most of the time. And I do believe that when I look at the Europa League last year, Man United and Spurs were awful and we comfortably got to the final. So looking at it this year, I think Villa and Forest have got a great chance of getting to the Europa League final. And I think the way Nuno played football would have worked. So Graham says Christmas pudding, cream or brandy, butter or custard. I mean, I love custard. I don't eat it very often, but I do love custard, I think. Sloss says, United wasn't comfortably in the final. Remember the Lyon games. Who played in the final, mate? And let's not forget, United was shite last season. And we made hard work of Lyon, I agree. But I don't think Villa or Forest are going to be that shit, is my point. Next English player to win the Ballon d'Or, says Pedro. Wait a minute. Timber into Madueke. He's run into traffic. Jude Bellingham maybe is a good shout. A lot of people saying that. I mean, it's not inconceivable that a Saka could do it. I think you've got to win the league and do very well in the Champions League, haven't you? And could Harry Kane win it as an outsider? If Bayern Munich won the Champions League and he was the top scorer in Europe, he could win it. Look the way I call it the Rodri effect. I don't think in the world that Messi and Ronaldo aren't dominating the game anymore, I do think, look at Dembele, he's got a great chance of winning it. I think you can have 1 year where you do really, really well. But yeah, I'd say Bellingham's probably the best shout, really. But then, are Real Madrid going to win the Premier League? I don't know. Are they going to win La Liga? I think you've got, unfortunately, to win the Ballon d'Or, you probably need to win your domestic league and then do very well in the Champions League. I'm getting laughed at for saying Saka. But if Arsenal won the league and they got to the final of the Champions League and he scored loads of goals, then it could happen. But I mean, the reality is he's got to stay fit. I worry about Saka's fitness record, to be honest. You're never going to win it if you don't stay fit. One of the big things about Ballon d'Or winners is they do play a lot in that year. Jacob says, Mainu will win Ballon d'Or. I said it. Clown me, chat. Paul Matt says, do you have the same agent as Gyökeres? No, I just rate Gyökeres. I've rated him for a long time. I don't get the issues that people have with him. I just think it's a player that people want to flop. These Forest are attacking a little bit more now. How long is it going to get added on? I'd say 8, 7. Good play there. Gibbs White, nearly. At least they're playing on the front foot now. Front foot now. So 1-0 Arsenal here. Brilliant goal by Zubimendi. You know what? I was saying this on the United Stand on the morning show, though. This international break is the worst one because you play 3 Premier League games. You haven't even got your rhythm. Then everybody disappears for 2 weeks and you come back and you don't have any rhythm that you had before. The best thing you want to do is be at home. I think by the time the October international break comes along, everybody's up to speed, but we break off too quickly. I mean, in the Bundesliga, it's only 2 games before they go on international duty, which is even worse. This international break comes too quick. It's like starting the season again, says Ewan. Yeah, exactly. Brilliant way of putting it. And you can see it. The rhythm's just not there with these players at the moment. King Cantona says, Gyökeres is okay, but feels inferior to Isak. Well, that's because he is. I think if Arsenal could have got Isak, they would have gone for Isak. I mean, I actually expected him to go to Arsenal at one point, but Arsenal clearly were never in it. I really did think if he was going to go anywhere, he would go to Arsenal until this summer. Zubimendi scored, Chev. What would you do with the international break, says Roscoe? I mean, I don't know how it used to work, but when I was a kid, I used to love international football because what would happen is you'd have, I don't know, Man United would play on a Saturday at 3 o'clock, and on a Wednesday, England would play Poland in a qualifier, and then on the Saturday, Man United would play. Like you'd literally have midweek internationals. But I do agree. I think that's probably not possible anymore because there's so many players playing in the Premier League from around the world, where in those days you probably had like 95% of the league was English or British. But it made international football a lot better because it didn't impact your main thing. Good play by Eze down the wing. Gyökeres stretching at it. Goes out for a goal kick. Quirt says, why so many empty seats? Oh, they'll be off to get the prawn sandwiches. Heinz are there on the bench for Arsenal. Obviously, he's not going to play. Mosquera is blending in perfectly, says Robin. I thought Mosquera came on and played very well at Anfield for Saliba, and I think the big compliment I would give him is that I just haven't noticed him, which is a good thing because I think you sometimes notice players who are struggling. And but having said that, I mean it's been a walk in the park for Gabriel and him so far. Zubimendi scored the goal, Snoopy. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. Got nearly 15,000 watching. Make sure you share the video and subscribe. Forest in the second half have got to do better. Swedish pundit just said he has wondered why Chelsea sold Madueke just to buy Garnacho. He can get a sensible reason for it, and I agree. Great point, NAU. Look, I don't think Madueke at Chelsea was setting the world on fire, but from what I've seen of him this season, he looks brilliant. And, I mean, let's not forget, Garnacho's not a right winger, so in some ways you're comparing Anthony Gordon to Saka. But, yeah. And that's probably the reason Chelsea did it, I suppose. Orcus says Madueke is mid. And I probably would have agreed with you in the summer, but, you know, credit where it's due. I know we're very early in the season, but he's looked very good. DLE says, can he say he always wins in the second year if he gets them relegated, then wins the championship? Says DLE. Well, I don't think this Nottingham Forest squad is going to get relegated. It's got too many good players in it. But DeAndre says, what are the chances that a Liverpool player wins the Ballon d'Or in the next 3 years? That's a good ball out wide to Hudson-Odoi. Let's see what happens here. Edge of the box. He's given an offside there. Harry Scott, thank you very much for your super chat. Can we do a Madueke versus Garnacho poll, says Christopher. I will happily do it, mate. And all I would say is, I don't think even many Chelsea fans like Garnacho, so I don't know where he's going to get his votes from here. Because he's probably one of the most disliked players in the Premier League. It's just, I don't know why. I mean, I used to really like him, but even when I liked him, it was it wasn't a popular decision. Salah or Alexis Sanchez, says Lars. Easily Salah. Come on, grow up. Is Gyökeres playing, says Gary? There he is. I tell you what, though, Arsenal do need to, half-time, Arsenal do need to learn how to feed him. Because there's not a lot of service out there. Anyway, half-time. Let's have a quick look at the stats here. Gibbs White having a word with Zubimendi, probably saying what a good goal it was. What do you think of the Emirates? Preferred Highbury. Well, I did. I'm not going to lie. Let me pause that there. Okay, so 59% possession for Arsenal, 11 shots to Forest's 1, 3 on target to Forest's none, 6 corners to Forest's 1. I mean, look, you can't argue with that then, can you? 1-0. It's justifiable. As I predicted, Ange has turned up and basically played the same way Nuno does. And it begs the question, like, why did they not do this in the summer and give Ange the pre-season and the transfer money to build a team that suits him? It's wildly erratic to run a football club like this. It's unfair on Ange to expect him to come and play Ange ball when he's only had a few days with these players. And all he really can do when you're turning up at the Emirates against Arsenal is play the way Nuno would have played anyway. And obviously, I think they'd have played it better under Nuno. So in many ways, unless Forest can pull something incredible out of the hat in the second half, by sacking Nuno, they basically just gave up 3 points. The stats say it all, says Irish Eyes. They certainly do. But look, whilst it's 1-0, there's always a chance, I suppose. Gibbs White had a bit of a chance. But as I was saying, it sort of baffles me what pundits and fans expect from Arsenal when teams come to the Emirates and play like that. Forest are a very good defensive side. They're a counter-attacking side. They don't concede many goals. I think they had the fifth or sixth best defence in the Premier League last year. They're defending the penalty box, and lo and behold, it's a game with a lot of set pieces where Arsenal have needed a set piece to break the game down. I think it's a massive weapon for teams to have these days, to be good at set pieces, because these teams that come and park the bus, it's a way to score, isn't it? Do you think Villa can finish in the top 10, says Mozza? I've got Villa winning today. I mean, that's going to be a tough game against Everton. I think that's a little bit out there. I don't know what Robbie went with. What did I do with that bit of paper with it on? Yeah, I went with a Villa win. I've gone with a Villa win away to Everton, which I think is a bit wild. And Robbie's gone with a draw. Everton have had a very good start to the season. 79% of you gone with Madueke over Garnacho. I mean, I'm not surprised. We'll do another one in a minute. Poor first half from Forest is official KC. Thank you very much for your super chats, by the way. That was Mozza with that one. SJ super chat says, thoughts on how Arsenal can have a decade-near project with very little to show for it, but Chelsea can rock up and win the biggest trophies. What big trophies have Chelsea won? I presume this is sarcasm. So Chelsea have won the Club World Cup and the Conference League. Okay. Arsenal have finished second 3 years in a row and got to a Champions League semi-final. So, you know, I know who I would rather be, and it wouldn't be Chelsea. So, but each their own. My view is not necessarily definitive. Club World Cup, I don't value it. I think I'd like the money, I'd like the money, but yeah, I don't particularly value it, to be honest. Grealish is playing like he used to. But what do you think about Grealish winning Premier League Player of the Month? I think it's fantastic. I didn't like him at City. Surprise, surprise. I loved him at Villa. And I haven't really seen him at Everton. But I think that is an incredible achievement. I mean, I haven't seen any Everton games yet. So I can't sit here and say he deserves it or he doesn't deserve it. So I'll bow down to better judgment. But he must deserve it. And, you know, it's just another indicator that Pep Guardiola is a killer of flair. He's like, if flair is a weed, then Pep is a weed killer. So, you know, Grealish at Aston Villa was just a joy to watch. At Man City, the fire went out. So, you know, fair play to him. It's another win for flair, isn't it? Chelsea have won the Champions League twice, says Kiel. The question was in the last decade, wasn't it? They haven't won it twice in the last decade. They've won it once. Love the show, Mark. Keep it up, says Jorgen. I mean, look, Kiel, you're on the United stand. I'm on the United stand. Are we playing the History Channel or are we playing reality? I'd rather be in Arsenal position than Chelsea. Love the show. Keep it up, Mark, says Jorgen. And do you think PSG can win the Champions League again without Donnarumma, says Jesse? I don't think that's going to be the reason they don't win the Champions League. I don't think they'll win the Champions League this year because I don't think PSG have got the squad to deal with what will effectively be 2 years of football. And I think that's a very important point. I think there are certain teams that are basically going to play football for 2 years up until the World Cup. And I don't think PSG have got the squad for it. I know they're in a league where they can probably manage it better, but I think it's going to be very difficult for PSG, especially with such an intense way of playing. I think they're going to struggle. And haven't they got a couple of injuries at the moment anyway? I think Dembele's out at the moment, isn't he? What do you think of Gyökeres's performance as Rex? I think there's been good bits and bad bits. I do think it's clearly going to be a game of few chances. But then again, in the second half, it might change. Forest need to open up a little bit, so he might get a little bit more space in the second half. Thank you, SJ, as well. What do you think of Phil Foden, says Jasper? Well, you know, Phil Foden is a flair player that's worked quite well under Pep. But Foden's not like Grealish, is he? He doesn't take people on. He's more of a pass and move player. But what has happened with Phil Foden there, I don't know. Has he achieved too much at a young age? Has the fire gone out? Does he need a move? I don't know. Klopp Slot says, why is the media avoiding Man City's charges? Anyone have an answer? I'd say it's boredom more than anything more sinister. I think most people thought we were going to get the result of this Man City case before the end of last season. And we're nearly into what? Well, we're not nearly. We're halfway through September. And there's just no talk of it. And then there's going to be an appeal. So I just think people are bored, really. Mozza says, I know this is That's Football, but if you could have a choice between Pedri, Rice or Szoboszlai, who would you take at United? Rice would be the best player for Man United at the moment. Keel Robinson says, history remembers the winners, not the potential. As I say again, Keel, as United fans, are we living off history then? Because I tell you what, I don't think history gives a shit. I don't think there's many people on Wikipedia knocking one out every Saturday afternoon when their team's shit now. I really don't. I don't think history remembers that much anyway. I think history in football remembers certain things. I don't think it remembers everything. I don't think people look back on Chelsea winning the Champions League a few years ago and remember it verbatim. I think Chelsea fans probably do, but I don't think history always is the be-all and end-all. Do you agree with the opinion about Pep killing flair? Iniesta, Silva, David Villa, Robben prove otherwise. Grealish didn't have the talent, says King Cantona. No, I do agree with it because it's my argument. I think Pep is a killer of football and I think he's a killer of flair because I don't like the way he plays football. Whether it be Barcelona, Bayern Munich or Man City, I can't stand the way he plays football. And I think the fact that he was trying to get rid of Savinho backs it up again. I actually think Savinho looked really good. I cannot understand how a player that looked really good in his first few months at Man City is now a bench player. I cannot understand how Doku, who looked really good, is now a bench player. So Grealish falls into that category as well. I think he's a killer of flair. I don't think he likes people who take risks. There's always one play that is burnt into my memory, and I think it sums Man City under Pep perfectly. Kyle Walker, a couple of years ago, one of the quickest players in the game. In front of him is a player that's not quicker than him, and behind him is 40 yards of space. And he looks at it and he goes, I could knock it past him and be in. And then he turns around and passes it back to the centre-back. And I thought, that's Pep. That's pure fucking Pep. You know, if that's like Saka or Ryan Giggs or someone like that, they're gonna go at that player and they're gonna go past him. But Pep's about passing lanes. He's not about individuality, and I don't like it. And if you do like it, many people do, but not for me. Do you? So I do agree with the opinion of him killing flair. Yeah, and also you're listing off players there like Iniesta, David Silva, who didn't really take people on. They were more like Phil Foden. They were gliders, pass and move. Fantastic players. Who do you think is going to win the Ballon d'Or? Says Bev. I think it would be. I mean, who do you lot think is going to win the Ballon d'Or? I think it'd be a travesty if Dembele doesn't win it. Really. I just can't. I mean, the only other contenders are Yamal, Salah, and Rafinha, and I don't think they've done enough. I think it has to be Dembele. Has to be Dembele for me. If he doesn't, then it would be a little bit strange. Nipuna says, Wenger and Fergie got robbed by cheats, Chelsea and City. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens with Chelsea. I do have the Chelsea Chargers, I did a video on it this week. I do have a level of empathy with, I'm going to stand up for a bit. I do have a level of empathy with Chelsea fans and their new owners, because it's not their fault, is it? But ultimately, the Eden Hazard thing does stand true, doesn't it? If you and another club try to buy a player and then you get that player because you make an illegal payment and then that player does well for you, it's not very fair, is it? In my humble opinion. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner to do that. We are live straight after this with 3 p.m. watch-along. So make sure you're tuning in for that. Our featured game is going to be Newcastle against Wolves, because that's the game that's being played. But we've also got Fulham Leeds, Everton Villa, Crystal Palace Sunderland, and Bournemouth Brighton. Plus, we'll be keeping an eye on the Bundesliga, because we are the home of Bundesliga this season on YouTube, and we'll be keeping you up to date with those games as well. A great game last night between Leverkusen and Frankfurt. Thanks for your super chats. Would you have taken Grealish over Cunha, says Calvin? No. For a multitude of reasons. I'd have took Grealish from Villa, and I did want him from Villa, but I wouldn't take him now as an ex-Man City player, all the baggage that comes with that, the age difference as well. So, no, not for me. Not for me. What's your thoughts on Esteval? Looks like a good signing. You know, I think Chelsea have made some good signings. My only reservation about Chelsea is that they're always buying youth, and I think at some point, I think since Thiago Silva left, they've really missed a bit of experience in that side. And the question is, will that experience be growing together? You know, Cole Palmer, etc., in a few years' time. Will we see a return of Goldbridge Saves Football, says Zach? No. Not the podcast. No plans at the moment. Honest question, honest answer. Do you expect Ugarte to reach Subamendi levels, says Baba? No. No. I would be happy if Ugarte could reach Fred levels at the moment, you know. I think there's a good player there, but he looks bereft of confidence. So, you know, a step forward would be Fred. What club would be the best with not selling to other club? What does that mean, SJ? What club would be the best if not selling to other club? I don't know. Here he comes. Bloody hell, I can't believe it. You know, mate, I came back. Bloody job. And, you know, I'm back in bloody North London again, losing to this fucking Lego-head prick, you know. I can't fucking believe it, mate. You know, I've won more bloody silverware than you. I lost 22 games, mate. Still bloody won a trophy. Come on, ref, kick it off. Move. Do you think Barcelona's academy is the best academy? If so, why do you think it is? If not, who do you think has the best academy in terms of the amount of class talent they produce? I can't answer that question, Soxy. I don't know who has the best academy because I don't spend my time. You know, you could probably say I'm a nonce if I was, telling you what's got the best academy. I don't know what the best academy is because I don't spend my time, focusing on different clubs' academies. I think Man City's academy is very, very good. Chelsea's is very good. Arsenal's is looking very good at the moment. Barcelona's academy is very good because they're Barcelona, reputationally. Goal! Gyökeres! What a goal! I'm not going to do the thing, but that's what he's there for. 3 goals. Gyökeres, thank you very much. Looks like a player wearing jeans, apparently. He's doing the celebration. A lovely goal. Brilliant by Eze. I'll just stop that chat for a moment. What a start to the second half for Arsenal. That's exactly what they need to do. Feed Gyökeres. If you feed him, he'll score goals. I wonder if Eze's offside. He might have gone a little bit early here. The nonsense curse again. Well, Gyökeres isn't offside. That's brilliant. Brilliant the way he holds the line. I'm just wondering if Eze was offside. It's a shame. It'll be a shame for Gyökeres because that's exactly the service you want. And I would have scored that, but he held the line really well. I just wonder whether Eze is off. Mike Kay says he looked a little bit off. Be a great assist for Eze and a very good goal for Gyökeres, but we will hold judgment here. It does take away from the game a little bit, doesn't it? That you celebrate these goals and goal stands 2-0. Good goal. Good goal. Jorgen says, I hate ref cam, but you have seen next level. But have you seen the next level with Rooney, Ronaldo, Zlatan, Ronaldinho, Van Nistelrooy? What does that mean? Gems has gifted 5 memberships. I'm trying to answer your question there, Jorgen. I don't know what that means. Have you seen next level 2008 with Rooney, Ronaldo, Zlatan, Ronaldinho, Van Nistelrooy? I think I'm trying to predict the answer there. I think we have seen eras in football that I would love to see again. I certainly think that I look back on certain eras of football, even like 2002, Rivaldo, Ronaldinho, Zidane. I think there was a lot of good players around. Well, Forest have got to open. Well, Forest might go back to being defensive now. But I said Arsenal would chop them down, and at the moment, they're very much doing that. Two 2-0 up, and welcome back, Ange. Oh, bloody spell. Just setting up my stream for 3. Oh my God, you're an idiot. So Forest got a corner here. Headed away. How are you all doing on your FPLs anyway? I'm not doing it this year. Conscious decision. What club would be the best without selling their best talent to bigger clubs? Wasn't trying to drop another fiver on you, says SJ. Well, Brighton would be a good team if they didn't sell their players, but they do buy a lot of their players. Crystal Palace would be a good team if they didn't have to sell their players, I suppose. What other club is a big exporter of players? Bournemouth, you know? They've had to get rid of some players as well. Dortmund worldwide would be a very good one. I mean, the Bundesliga would be a very good league, wouldn't it? But to be fair, a lot of these clubs that you say sell players, where do you think they get the players from? You know, Bournemouth bring them in from somewhere. Brighton bring them in from somewhere. It's the circle of football, really, you know? The Great Escape or Goal, says Zach. Great Escape's a great film. 100T says, remember when Sky had player cam? Bring it back. So Gyökeres has got 3 goals in 4 games. Not a bad return. But apparently, he's not easy on the eye. Oh my God! Chris Wood nearly scored a fluke. And good recovery tackle there by Mosquera. Wood, I think it hit Wood and hit Wood. Double Wood. The cross sort of hit Wood on the chest and then hit Wood. But it's end-to-end now. Madueke, Arsenal will love this. Shot by Wanyeri there. Wood on Wood. Double Wood. Yeah, watch this. It's I think it's Ndoye with the cross. Yeah, it hits Wood on the chest. And then hits the Wood on the bar. I don't know whether that was improvisation by Wood, to be fair. I mean, you could have claimed that as a great goal, really. I can't bloody believe it, mate. If you could sign Messi, Roy Keane or Buffon as a 20-year-old on a 10-year contract for United now, who would you pick? I mean, Roy Keane would be transformative for Manchester United because he's a brilliant captain and we need a midfielder. So I'd be very tempted to take Roy Keane, but you're not going to turn down one of the world's best ever players at 20 years of age, are you? I mean, you're going to get Messi in his 20s. Come on. I'm not that stupid. I mean, Roy Keane would be brilliant, but you're talking about Messi from 20 to 30. Come on. I can't answer that. Every part of me wants to say Roy Keane, but come on. That was actually a save as well by Raya. He tipped it onto the bar. Jordan Reed says, what about Brentford players and manager if they don't sell their players? What's your favourite Oasis song, says Brian? It changes all the time. I mean, I like Listen Up. Brian says Keane makes all the other players 10% better. Oh, I completely agree. That's a free kick. That was showing the Eze offside. He wasn't offside. It was a lovely goal, that. I think goals like that are so good because they're so simple. And it's hard to do that at this level. Another cross into the box, headed away. I feel like I'm really fighting a virus at the moment as well. Last night, when I was doing the Bundesliga, I could feel like, you know the start of man flu? I don't want to be sexist, women, but you don't get it. This is, scientifically proven that man flu is one of the worst illnesses you can get. You start to feel a bit cold, nose starts to feel funny, throat, and I just felt it last night, and I feel like, I don't know whether I'm past it or it's still lingering to hit me hard. Look, Arsenal will get criticised. They always do. But personally, I would be very happy of this if I was an Arsenal fan. Clean sheet. Gyökeres scores. Eze gets an assist. Zubimendi scores. Declan Rice not starting. Odegaard's gone off injured. Saka's injured. Saliba's injured. These are the sort of results that last season they draw. So, obviously you're going to get your critics. It's not vintage football, is it? But 9 from 12 in the first 4 games. And you've been to Anfield, where you lost to a worldie. It's not a terrible start to the season. I think the interesting thing for Arsenal is it's a really big week because Man City play on Thursday and Arsenal play on Tuesday. So they've got 48 hours extra rest ahead of Super Sunday next week at the Emirates. So, Man City are walking into a trap, I think, next Sunday. Arsenal play Tuesday. Then they don't play till the Sunday. Man City are playing tomorrow, Thursday, and then at the Emirates. So, big week for Arsenal. Get this game won. And then beat Man City next week. And, you've got, 12 from 15 and you lost at the at Anfield. So, it's a big week. But, you're 2-0 down here. And, you're 2-0 down. What's the plan here from Ange? It just feels like it's going to be 3 or 4 very soon. 3 and 4. I think Arsenal will beat Man City next week. Lovely play by Madueke again. My man of the match so far. Why do footballers raise their hand before taking a corner? Sincere question. I know the answer to this, Rick, because I went in the international break last week. I went down to Southampton to watch my daughter play in their academy game. And they do it. And I was asking. I always thought I knew what the answer was. And I was asking about it. It's a corner routine. So when you put your hand up, it will be a corner routine that you've worked on in the week. So it will be where you're going to put the ball, etc. It's an ad called Take It to the Next Level. Tevez, Iniesta, Schneider, Materazzi are there too, says Jorgen. There we go. We used to get brilliant ads, didn't we? Back in the day. That would have been the softest penalty in the world. Not given. Arsenal countering. Eze's a very good signing for Arsenal, isn't he? Here's Gyökeres. Lovely play. Gets it out wide to Madueke. Back into Gyökeres. He hits the post. This is the side of Gyökeres that people don't realise as well. It's the build-up play. It's a lovely play here. Gets it back from Madueke. Absolute power. Smacks the post. I'll tell you what, that would have been a great goal. You don't save though. That would not have been front post glitch. That would have been an absolute power drive. So double substitution here for Forest. Chris Wood's coming off. Half an hour to go. Are you doing Chelsea tonight? No, I'm doing 3 PMs and then that's me off until Liverpool tomorrow. I am on the United stand at 8 o'clock. But I've got plans tonight. Got new glasses. They're slightly different to my other ones. I couldn't get the old ones back. Look. No, it's better off showing you that way, isn't it? Slightly different. I do prefer the old ones because the red's longer. But sadly, I sat on them. And the only way I could wear them was like a bloody old person. So I had to get a new pair. They've got all like tape round them. Ezzy. Calafiori. He's going to whip that in. It's a lovely cross. Really, I think you've got to be attacking that cross. How did you sit on them? I've got a black chair. And the glasses are obviously black. And I went to get... I think I was actually doing something. I put my chair... I sat on them. I've got a big fat arse, to be honest with you. Which is good for football. You know, when I was dribbling through the midfield, I was always quite good with my hips. Just bounce people off. Dowman will come on, Rajaf. Definitely. I mean, if he's going to come on, if he's going to get brought on at Anfield when they're losing, he's definitely going to get brought on here when they're 2-0 up. I'd probably say last 20. Last 15. Do you wear skinny jeans? I try not to. Try not to. I found recently, I find jeans make my legs get quite itchy. I just like a nice pair of cotton tracksuit bottoms when I'm around the house. Why do you think Skelly's not been playing? I don't know. I mean, look, he's a good player, really good player. But again, I think that just shows. I think people get a little bit. We have this at United. People, why is Mainu not playing? Why has Šeško not been playing? And you sort of like go, like, this is only game week 4. Like, it's a long old season. So, Clinton says, how's Seb doing? Good. They had their first proper game last week. They've got a cup game tomorrow morning. So, be interesting. Good play by Madueke. And that's going to go... Oh, and he's kept it in. Calafiori's better than Lewis Skelly, says Moya. Let's do a poll, says Stan. Either or. Calafiori, Lewis Skelly. As he wants a free kick, he's not going to get it. But yeah, that's the brilliance of Arsenal's summer transfer window. I mean, Liverpool have had a very good one, of course. I think Chelsea have had a good one, but we're talking about Arsenal here. You look at Arsenal last year: injury to Saka, injury to Odegaard, injury to Saliba. It's panic stations. you know, no way you could rest Declan Rice. This season, Rice is on the bench, Odegaard's injured, Saliba's injured, Saka's injured. You got, you know, Havertz is injured, and you've got a front three of Madueke, Gyökeres and Eze, and you've got a midfield of Zubimendi, Merino, and Nwaneri. They've got depth now. They've got really good depth. I mean, it doesn't mean that they won't have injury problems. They've got injury problems now. They can't afford many more. But even Mascara at the back's been really good as well. Eze's settled in lovely. Madueke's been brilliant. Gyökeres has got 3 goals in 4. It's cut back, cut it back. Corner. Good play by Madueke again. Voltemeda starts for Newcastle against Wolves. Good. We're watching him today. Let me have a quick look at the 3 o'clock games for you. Everton against Villa. Pickford, O'Brien, Tarkowski, Keane, Garner. Grealish starts on the left. Dewsbury Hall, Ndia and Beto. Martinez back in goal for Villa. Cash, Konza, Mings, Digne, Tillemans, Bogard, Rogers, McGinn, Bendia and Watkins. Victor Lindelof on the bench for them. Corner to Arsenal. Not very good. Although, I think it's gone for another corner. Sells. Yeah, Newcastle starting lineup. They've actually got a striker now. Wizza not able to play, but Voltemeda, Barnes and Jacob Murphy. Bruno G, Tonali, Joel Linton. Trippier, Shaw, Byrne, Livramento and Pope. Alanga's on the bench for Newcastle. Obviously, Gordon is banned. Calafiori has 68% of the vote and Lewis Skelly has 32% of the vote, and he's just about to come on. That camera angle flew through me there. I thought it was going in the bottom corner. It's gone out from near the corner flag for a corner. Who scored the second, says Richard? Gyökeres. Gyökeres. Yeah, Gyökeres didn't have a pre-season, you're right. Whoever said that in the chat. Lewis Skelly coming on here. I always say Lewis Skelly, like he's like a, I don't know, Polish. Lewis Skelly coming on for Calafiori. And Declan Rice coming on. I don't know whether Dowman will come on then. Have they got enough? Oh, Gyökeres is coming off for Declan Rice, so maybe Moreno's coming off. Don't know. Maybe Moreno goes up front. Yeah, I think Moreno will go up front. Do Juve versus Inter, please, says Don. I haven't looked at the fixtures today in the general sense. Let me have a quick look at what's going on. So we're going to be live for the 3 o'clocks. Oxford 2-2 with Leicester at the moment. Charlton beating Millwall. London derby there. Preston beating Middlesbrough. God, what's that? Is that FA Cup weekend or something? There's bloody loads of games there. Bundesliga, Dortmund play Heidenheim at 2:30. Cologne at Wolfsburg. Leipzig at Mainz. Bayern Munich play at 5:30. Juventus Inter Milan is at 5. Fiorentina Napoli at 7:45. How many game weeks have they had in Italy? Why do you think he took Gyökeres off? Managing minutes, I would imagine. I think he's got the squad to do that, so he'd be stupid not to. And obviously, if you've got an injury to Gyökeres, you haven't got a striker, have you? So I think he's just probably managing minutes. They've only had 2 weeks in the Italian league as well. Good cross. Remember, I do a live highlights show for the Bundesliga as well. We have a live game on a Friday night, and then on Tuesday at 5 o'clock, we do a full live highlights show of all the goals and all the games. So get involved with that. Yeah, I don't think Declan Rice was injured. It was just a bit of rotation, wasn't it? Jesus is apparently injured till December. Yeah, Arsenal are playing Bilbao on Tuesday at 5:45 in the Champions League. Is anyone here prepared to say just what they mean, or is it too late? I'll do it myself. I was looking for a cup of tea. Declan Rice nearly getting on the end of a cross there. Would have been an assist for Timber. I tell you what, I think I'm just going to say it. Timber this season looks to me like the best right back in the league. I think he looks very good. Very, very good. Been very impressed with him. I think that right side from Arsenal's very good. Madueke and Timber. Thanks everyone who's tuned in. Please do subscribe. The home of football. The biggest football community in the world. That's football. Probably not bigger than the United stand, but that's a United community. This is football. Reece James says hi. Well, I knew I'd start that off because some people will talk about Jed Spence. I've been very impressed with Timber this season. I've seen more of him. McAtee coming on here for Forest. Gibbs White coming off. Of course, one of the things that you have to look at from a Forest point of view as well is that all these players came in for Nuno. They're all Nuno's players, aren't they? God knows what they're thinking about Ange. I mean, if I was Gibbs White, for example, I'd be like, well, I nearly went to Spurs. I stayed. And, Douglas Luiz, another one. I came to here because of Nuno. And then you bring Ange in. And with all due respect, he lost 22 games last year. So I don't actually think it's an upgrade. And that's the problem as well. The manager may have gone against, the owner may have gone against the fans. God knows what the players are thinking. There'll at least be a few going, why have we done this? Doesn't play our brand of football, lost 22 games, fell out with the fans at Spurs, fell out with the media at Spurs. I mean, Spurs never win trophies, and they wanted to sack the guy that did. So I don't know. It's a funny one. That is a corner, yeah. Eze or Madueke? I mean, I'd say Eze, but they are on the same team. It's always a little bit weird doing that. So another corner to Arsenal here. It's a crap one again. Madueke. What are we thinking about Forest and Ange then? How does it end? I think the way they want it to end is in winning the Europa League. And I wouldn't be surprised if they did well in the Europa League because, to be honest, the expansion of the Champions League, most other leagues can't deal with it. The reason the Premier League is going to do well in the Europa League is because we've got such strength in depth. I think when you go beyond the top 5 or 4 in Germany, Italy, France and Spain, they don't have the strength in depth. So I would imagine Villa and Forest will probably do quite well in the Europa League, but whether Forest are better than Villa, I don't know. Eze with a good cross again. Harrison says, Ange is a Europa League appointment, not league for sure. I think the 3 o'clock games are very interesting. Bournemouth, Brighton could go either way. I don't know what I did. What did I say? I said a draw. Robbie said Bournemouth. Palace, Sunderland should be a Palace win. Everton, Villa, interesting. Fulham, Leeds, I'd expect Fulham to win. Newcastle, Wolves, I'd expect Newcastle to win. But I wouldn't be surprised if we get a few shocks today. It seems like it's going to be a competitive Premier League, and you never know with Leeds and Sunderland away. Maybe they could do something. Sonny says, did the missus not get you a tea, Mark? She's not here. She's got my daughter's playing against Charlton today in a cup game, so she's took the daughter to that. So 0-0 at the moment. Nice ball out wide, Madueke. That's a foul. Yeah, my man of the match, Madueke, for me today. And he's an exciting player as well. It must be great for Arsenal fans because you normally have got Saka on that side and, you know, he's a brilliant player. You've now got a player who is exciting. He runs it, his player. I mean, you put Madueke in a Man City squad and he better getting used to sitting down. He's going to be sat on the bench a lot. Trossard and Martinelli coming on. Madueke coming off, funnily enough. No Dowman today. Are you off for a pint after the game, Mark? No. I'm back at 3 o'clock with you good people watching the 3 o'clock games, keeping you updated. I like doing the 3 o'clock games. Loads going on. Where do you see Forest finishing with Big Ange? Says it's Louis. I'd say mid-table. I mean, it's hard to put anybody. The way I look at it is you've got Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, Man City, top four. Then you've got Newcastle, Spurs, hopefully Man United, Aston Villa, that's 8. Then you've got the next set of people, which will be the Bournemouths, the Brightons, the Fulhams, the Forests. So, you know, I think mid-table. Especially with European football. 3-0. Zubimendi. That's straight from the training ground, by the way. That is straight from the training ground. Watch what they do there. They knock it into Declan Rice. He takes a touch. He dinks it to the back post. And there you go. Comfortable win for Arsenal. 3-0. Well, it's not over yet. Bloody hell, mate. It's actually Trossard. Yeah, he should be onside. Player at the front plays him on. Lovely cross by... I thought it was Declan Rice. It's a lovely cross by Trossard. Only just come on. Does go off the defender. Might be given as an own goal, that. Because I don't know whether it was going on target. No, I don't think that was going in without the defender. Ange must go, says Yer. Forest Europa win and play Champions League in the Championship, says the YR guy. Well, I was looking at next week's fixtures in the Prem, and Forest will be playing on Sunday because of... Actually, they might be playing Monday. What are they playing? Maybe they're playing on Saturday. Oh, no, they're playing Burnley away next week. So that's the sort of game where if he loses that, the pressure will be on straight away. What do you have on after this? 3 p.m.s will be live for the 3 p.m.s. So we'll be keeping an eye on Newcastle Volta Maida's debut. Looking forward to that. And obviously keeping an eye on the other Premier League games. Also all the Bundesliga action, Championship. So loads to keep you up to date with. I'm looking forward to our first 3 p.m. stream of the season. We'll have our... Well, we had this last season anyway. It's not a new thing, but... where is it? There we go. That will be updating for you throughout. They should have kept Nuno, randoms. In the long term, they might get lucky, but they should have kept Nuno. I think anybody in football knows they should have kept Nuno. His style of play was so understood by these players, and they would. I think they still would have lost this game. But you are playing... He's going to have to beat Burnley, isn't he? Martinelli on the break here. Still 10 minutes to go here. Arsenal made some intelligent substitutions, Arteta, as well. People with a point to prove. Martinelli, Trossard, Lewis Skelly. They're not going to... Certainly not going to take their foot off the pedal here, Arsenal. They'll go for more goals. And obviously... That's an intelligent play as well. Like, you never know about goal difference in a title race, so they'll keep pushing here. Would you take Nuno at United, says Casper? No. Oh, God, no. Very boring style of football. It's Louis says, can you see Jose or Solskjaer back in the Prem? I don't think Solskjaer's going to get a decent job again, really. You know, I think that was a bit of a golden ticket in Turkey, and to lose his job so quickly, I don't think that helps. Jose, I'm surprised. Actually, I think Forest should have gone for him after Nuno because similar style of play with more authority. But I suppose West Ham could be coming up. Maybe he'd go there. But to be fair, Mourinho in the Premier League might not be a thing anymore anyway. I'd love to see him back. But he might not be a thing. What's your favourite takeaway, says Addy? Depends on the mood, mate. Sometimes I really feel like an Indian takeaway. Sometimes I feel like a Chinese, you know. Richard says you were going to walk on a treadmill when streaming. I was asked about this the other day, and look, if you like that sort of thing, great. But I got asked about this because I need to get fitter, and someone said get a treadmill for when you're streaming. And I did this Zoom call at work like 6 months ago, and I just found it really distracting. It's like eating. I was saying this to Loz the other day. He did a watch-along years ago with Football Republic, if anyone can remember that. And they were sat there with pizza going, oh yeah, and I had to turn it off. So I just think I'd find it really distracting seeing somebody moving like that all the time. I wouldn't be able to watch it, so I wouldn't inflict it on you. I don't like eating on stream either. Some people don't mind it, some people do. There is Saka and Saliba. Yeah, it doesn't get any easier for Arsenal. I mean, they've had a tough start to the season. They've had to go to Old Trafford, Anfield, and then they've got Man City, Game 5. So if they can come out of that with 12 points, I think they'd be very happy. What's for dinner today, says Niall? I'm making it, mate. So whilst when West Ham's on, I'll be cooking. Steak. Oh, bit of a mistake there. And he's given a foul. Not sure that would have been a foul in the Bundesliga, to be fair. Zooty says, I thought he was going to do cooking videos again. I am. I just haven't got a kitchen at the moment. Oh, don't show me ref cam. Can't look at it. Makes me want to throw up. What's your plans for FC26? Basically, Man United are shit now. So I'm going to be Man United. I'm going to raid the Bundesliga because that's where I know loads of stuff now. And I'm going to take United back to the top. Basically what Liverpool did. Chips on gravy, yes or no? Oh, God, yes. Especially if it's chip shop chips. Chip shop chips with chip shop gravy. Oh, get in. Not with the fish, though. I don't have, no, not. Got to have a pie and chips with gravy. Lovely stuff. Here's Trossard on the back post. I can't believe people like RefCam. You're really easily pleased. I think it's absolutely basic shit. You may as well get me running around on with my bloody phone. It's rubbish. Patrick's having rolls and pie. Yeah, let us know what you're having for dinner. What's your favourite Indian food, Mark? Very, very boring, I know, but I do like a tikka masala or a butter chicken. Garlic naan. Mushroom bhaji. Pilau rice. Happy days. Go on, slip it in. Oh, man, I know. I've not been to Hong Kong. I would like to go to Hong Kong. I need to do... I think next I need to do West Coast. Like LA and all that lot. I've never done that. Hi Mark, how has Victor done today? I'm on a lunch break, says Nathan. I think Gyökeres's overall performance would probably be a 6.5 or a 7. You know, good bits, bad bits, but got a goal. Watch out for ice, Mark. What, vanilla ice? He's passed it. But I think the same with Seshko at Manchester United. Like these are players that didn't really have proper pre-seasons, so I still think that you're adjusting to a new league without a pre-season. I think they'll get better and better. The main thing is to stay fit. Fish head on or off with your meal? I don't. Well, if you get fish and chips from a fish and chip shop, you don't have a fish head on it here. I don't think I've ever had a dinner with a fish head on it, really. I can't believe that, Clinton, I can't believe that they didn't release it Football Manager 25. I didn't realise that. This is going to be the first Football Manager since 2024. What's your favourite fish? I do like monkfish. I like I like a fish with like a steak feel to it. So monkfish, tuna fish, yeah, lobster. Lobster's lovely as long as people. I can't be asked. I'd like someone just to give me the lobster meat. Like, just give me the meat. I don't want the shell and all that shit. I don't want to get my hands dirty and be digging it all out. Just make it nice, clean lobster meat. Lovely. Salmon's nice, yeah. Swordfish is nice as well. Yeah, that's another one that's a bit like a steak. Like, I like prawns, but you know when you have to break them all off and that, I'm like, just do all that for me. Give me about 10 big prawns. I'm happy. Rice into Trossard. Wants a penalty. Not going to get it. Would have been a bit soft, I think. Yeah, lobster roll, something like that would be lovely, Rev Kev. Yeah. Becca says, I had sushi last night and now I feel nauseous. That's the problem. You've got to be very careful with seafood. Like, I like scallops. I had scallops at a family birthday a few years ago. Oh, my God. It just isn't worth it. If you get a bad one, it's just not worth it. Or it gets cooked badly. 4 minutes added on. I'll be live just before 3, about 5 to 3. I'm just going to go and get a cup of tea and a little bit of a snack. And then I'll be back. You said that should have been a penalty. I think technically it probably was a foul on Trossard, but you know, you've seen them given, but the reality is at 3-0 it's not going to get given. $876J says, us Jamaicans serve fish with the head on. There you go. JTD says, never a penalty. Like Bonnie Blue, he was looking to go down. My local chippy is crap. Yeah. You know what? I get in a car. It's not worth spending your money on a rubbish fish and chip shop. Find a good one in your local area and give it your custom, even if you have to drive. Don't worry about Greta. I can't do Deitch, Ben. I'm on the verge of man flu. I'm definitely not going to aggravate my vocal cords. Arsenal still pushing for 4. It's a lovely ball into Martinelli. And he's bottled that a little bit, but he's still got it. And Sells jumps on it. What watch-along games are you going to do for the Champions League, says Andre? I mentioned it last night. Definitely double on Thursday, Newcastle, Barcelona, and Napoli, Man City. Wednesday, double again, Liverpool, Atletico Madrid, and Bayern Munich, Chelsea. Tuesday, I don't know, because Arsenal are kicking off early against Bilbao. I don't really like doing 5:45 games, if I'm being honest. I think they are very exclusively for fans of that club. But I'll make my mind up on Tuesday. But Wednesday, Thursday will be good ones. No, Champions League isn't normally on a Thursday. It's just for the opening week, isn't it, to spread it out a little bit. Oh, Forrest could get a goal here. Consolation. Good block. He's had a good game, Gabriel. They love their clean sheets, don't they, Arsenal, as well? I mean, it's something that they do really pride themselves on too. And that is the final whistle, and it's a good result for Arsenal. 3-0, comfortable, very predictable in many ways. I don't think it was ever really in any doubt. Strange selection from Arsenal, from Forest to sack their manager ahead of such a big game. But, you know, probably not that surprising. And a big win, 3-0. 3 wins from 4 for Arsenal. If it wasn't for Szoboszlai, they'd be top of the league with 10 points. Forest got a bit of possession back in the second half, as you can see, but 1 shot on target. Never going to be enough to win a game when you've conceded 3, is it? Give us a Radcliffe. I'm still messing around with my vocal cords, Ben. At the end of the day, champers. All right, I will see you in about 20 minutes' time. We'll be back live for the 3 p.m. games. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. I'm off to get a cup of tea, and I'll see you in 20. Speak to you in a bit.